What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Big Lou. I know I've been away for a while, for a few weeks actually, about 3 or 4 weeks. I was actually in a car accident. Somebody rear-ended me and put a little courage in my spine, and going to physical therapy for a few weeks, you know. But it's all good, you know what I mean? They put me in a nice 2016 Charger for a rental, so for about a week, so that was good. That worked out. But just checking back in, you know what I'm saying? Got another great question through email on my Facebook. So I want to share with y'all and, you know, get y'all up to date on, you know, what I'm doing as far as my diet, my training right now, and, you know, what my plans are up ahead. Make sure you go to 412stillcitymuscle.com. Check out some new design tank tops, especially the Razorbacks for the women. They are very, very, very nice looking, quality material shirts. You know, I got one for my lady and she loves it. You know, yeah, just check me out. I'll post some workouts on there too. I have some more information and content coming to you guys. You know, if you don't hear from me, that just means that I'm grinding. It does not mean that, you know, I'm falling off or getting lazy or nothing like that. That doesn't happen in my world, you know. I mean, and when you work as much as I do, behind the scenes, it's hard to see in the front, you know, what's really going on. But the question I got, actually it was 2 questions. Somebody asked me, like, you know, coming back from an injury or coming back from an accident or something like that, like, how am I going to start back into my working out? You know, do I pick up where I left off, or do I just take it slow? Like, how do you do it? And I always tell people, you know, everything is based off of, you know, your own goals, who you are, your physical history, not just your medical history, but your physical history. You know, you have to know your body. You know, do you heal pretty fast? Does your diet, you know, cater to your body's ability to heal faster? Do you lay around? Are you lazy? You know, do you get up and walk? Like, what do you do for therapy? What do you do, you know, for your circulation, to increase your blood circulation, which, you know, brings more oxygen to the muscles, which allows you to heal faster too. I think most people neglect that. I tend to be a person, you know, I don't get injured that often. But when I do, you know, I've been in several car accidents, but I tend to bounce back pretty quick. I attribute that to football, you know, being in a high contact sport in my youth. I was able to always come back pretty quick and heal fast, you know. So that's that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to not start off where I left off. I'm going to start off where I left off as far as like my regimen, but not nearly the intensity. So all you want to do is come back with the, bring your intensity slowly back. Obviously still do a lot of stretching workouts. We're just stretching, hypertension squeeze, and getting blood in the muscle. Like I said, the increased blood in that area increases the oxygen levels in that area, which allows you to heal faster too. No real muscle damage done, you know, during an accident or whatnot, so I'm okay from that standpoint. But slowly getting back into my workouts. I had a great shoulder workout the other day, on Wednesday, I do believe, and yesterday was legs. So, but that's one part. That was one question. My next question, which was a 2-parter from this person, was, you know, somebody starting out, whether they're going from an off season back on to season, whether there's somebody who just, you know, just works out during the winter, not during the summer, or just a new beginner. How do you get them started in working out? And the best way that I can say it is number one, if you don't have a history of athletics or any type of weight training whatsoever, the best thing to do is stick to the basics. You know, stick to the compound movements, because what you're doing is not only are you teaching, you're in a process you have to go through where you have to teach your body proper form. So you shouldn't be touching no ridiculous, your intensity shouldn't be ridiculous anyway. You're teaching your body proper form, but you're also teaching your muscles how to work in unison. What most people don't know is the way that your body's designed. If you look at it like a car, you know, there's so many different parts to the car, but they all work in unison. If one part doesn't work, it throws off the whole system. Well, same with your body. You know, a lot of your muscles are intertwined, like your abdomens are intertwined. They're knotted. There's no bones there. You know, a lot of your muscles are intertwined and they're linked. So you have to teach your body how to use muscles in unison. And then during the training, what I like to teach people is, I'm not just yelling at you to, you know, get the reps done. I might be in your ear to ask you and question you, hey, did you feel what you did? Did you feel the exercise that you're doing? You shouldn't do a bicep curl and your shoulders be sore. And you shouldn't do a bicep curl and your biceps not be sore. Otherwise you're just wasting your time in the gym. Are you feeling what you're doing? So the muscle, know what exercise you're doing, know what area it's supposed to be targeting, and make sure that you're achieving, the feeling that you're supposed to feel during the exercise. So if I'm doing something like rear delts, am I feeling my rear delts? Am I subconsciously squeezing hard enough to feel those rear delts instead of just saying, hey, I'm gonna go through this range of motion and that's gonna guarantee that I'm gonna feel my rear delts? No. If you're not feeling that, my rear delts by doing an exercise, then I'm gonna find a new exercise to do in order to make myself feel those rear delts. Because if you can't feel it, how can you subconsciously squeeze it and force blood into the muscle, therefore creating the intensity to stimulate hypertrophy? It's not gonna happen. So never waste your time in the gym. I don't want anybody to waste their time in the gym. Make sure you're feeling everything that you're doing. There's no way I should be doing bench press for my chest and my front delts are on fire, and then my chest is all fresh and weak. It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make sense. So don't waste your time in the gym. Make sure you're feeling every single exercise. So take that concept, and then I say go do a squat, which is a full body movement. There's layers to a squat. It's a full range of motion. Yes, you're going down to the ground, you're standing all the way up. But the question is while you're doing a squat, and everybody says, oh, squats are for legs. Absolutely, no doubt. But are you feeling your shoulders? Because as far as I'm concerned, if I got 400 pounds in my back, I'm using some shoulder strength. I should be able to subconsciously squeeze and tighten those muscles, force blood in them so it gives me stability to be able to do it. Are you feeling your abs? Do you feel your chest? It's very important when you're doing squats that your chest stays up and high and your chin stays up and high. That way I'm able to squeeze my pecs, squeeze my delts, squeeze everything, my trapezius and everything, in order to stabilize and control that weight. That's half the battle. If my upper body is loose, but my legs are tight and I'm, and I'm focusing on my legs, but I got 400 pounds in my back, am I gonna be able to control that weight properly? No. And what you're doing is you're putting too much pressure on the top of your spine. If those muscles are tensed up, that pressure and collapsing that spine is less. So think about that. When you're doing a squat or any full body movement, squats or deadlifts, make sure that you're able to squeeze and feel every body part. You go through a checklist during your squat. So you take no weight and squat with no weight. Do it at home, do it in the gym. Squat down to the floor, do a 10-second squat all the way down and all the way up. And tell me if you're able to feel your biceps, triceps, chest, back, shoulders, abs, your lower back, your hamstrings, your glutes, your calves, and your quads. Tell me, can you do that? Can you go through that mental progression and that checklist to feel every single muscle group? Now take that same premise and that concept, and I want you to apply it to all compound movements. The only time I'm focused on one body part as far as like the sensitivity and squeezing it is if I'm doing an isometric movement. That's the point of an iso. You just focus on that one area. But if I'm doing any compound movements, body squats, leg press, military press, overhead presses, bench presses, any movement where you're using multiple muscle groups, make sure that you're able to feel those multiple muscle groups. Bench press, I should be able to feel chest and triceps. I should be able to do that. If you can't do that, reevaluate your form, lower the weight, do the proper weight. The same sensitivity I have in my chest when I'm doing a 100-pound bench press is the same I have when I'm doing 365 pounds. I'm not just loading up the bar just to say, hey, I moved 365 pounds on an incline. No, every single rep, I feel those muscles. I'm using those muscles. That's the only way I'm able to get up 365 pounds on an incline for 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 reps. That's the only way. It's not gonna happen no other way. Okay? So somebody starting out, teach them and share this with somebody you're teaching. Teach them and teach yourself. Go through a progression of a movement with the intention of subconsciously squeezing and feeling every single part of your body. Okay? And for all you new people, And then people who are seasoned and elites and whatever, you take time off and you go back, focus on those compound movements. Because what's going to happen is the benefit of that is once you get that back online and you teach your body how to work in unison and teach those muscles how to work in unison, then implementing isolated movements will be easier. You're going to be stronger because all your muscles have gotten work, all your muscles have learned how to work in unison, and you teach your body how to circulate blood in those areas together all at once. And that'll make you stronger at your isolated movements and prevent injury. So that's a question for the day. That's my great question for the day. Like I said, stay tuned. I got more videos coming. I've been working with a gym to be able to give you guys video footage of these crazy workouts, you know, that I've been sharing with you guys. So you guys, I don't want you guys to think that, hey, he's just blowing smoke and this guy doesn't do these workouts. My workouts are unique. I'll say that. The intensity is unique. I like to have power, endurance, and you know, still be able to shape the muscles with great control and prevent injury. So it's your boy Big Lou. Stay tuned. Check me out on Instagram, Steel City Muscle. Like I said, 412stillcitymuscle.com, and more content coming. Everybody have a blessed weekend, and stay tuned. Peace.